All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Warrior! Warrior! Whose house? Warrior! Whose house? Warrior! That's how we get the energy started. It's a beautiful Friday morning. It's so amazing to see so many amazing faces. And this is a fraction of this long, large, extended family. My name is Earl Brown, Wazir Earl Brown. I am the nephew of this great man, Grandmaster Kevin Thompson, who created this amazing movement. Before we get started, I have his daughters here. I think they want to do a kata. Tonight you're going to do kata? Okay, let's make sure. That is special. But I'm not going to be long. But before I introduce the next speaker, I just want to give my personal story in terms of what I really remember. And as I look at this venue, it brings back so many memories. It's so crazy how when something is in your DNA, when you were raised in it and you come back, you might be older, but your mind goes back into that form. And I remember, my dad, when I was about 5 or 6, he used to wake me up early Saturday morning, and that's the worst thing you could do for a young kid, right? We enjoy our Saturday morning cartoons. But that wasn't my Saturday morning. My Saturday morning, where he would wake my butt up, and we would come to this dojo. While him, my uncle, Wazir Dwayne, Wazir Adli, Wazir Qasim, Wazirs would train in the morning. And the thing that I remember, as a young black man, 5, 6 years old, and Asatida used to always say, this is the way of life. I used to see that at an early age. And I didn't realize at the time what that cemented in my DNA as I grew older. This wasn't just a karate school where people come and learn how to fight and defend themselves. This was a brother and sisterhood. This was a family. So I learned hard work. I learned work ethic. I learned camaraderie. I learned brother and sisterhood. But most importantly, I learned the foundations of character and what I need to become when I grow older. And this is something that I want us to always remember as we come back to the street, come back to this dojo, or just have this in our minds. So I thank Grandmaster Kevin Thompson. I thank all of you, and I thank those who became before me and those who came after me, because this is what it all comes down to. We all come here as family, and we all develop how we work. Thank you. Warriors! Without further ado, I would like to present Professor Bahir Camille to come up and do the welcoming prayer. Thank you.
One thing about Asatida Shaquille is that everything he did, he said with the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Everything. Every program, every instruction had on the top of it in the name of God, because he understood where his strength really came from. And without that strength, he was nothing. And he taught that. And I want to first begin this short prayer, very short prayer. I want to give courtesy to all the black belts, the senseis, all the students, all the political people who are here, people who traveled near and far, but more importantly, and to the family, and to those individuals who brought their children, who brought their precious children to this organization to help raise them into men and women who were productive and contributed to society, and now are raising their own families in that same vein, that same strength, and branching out into all parts of the world. So without further ado, we say, with the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, all praise is due to God, the Lord of all worlds, the most gracious, the most merciful, Master of the last day, Lord, you alone do we worship, and you alone do we seek or ask for help. Guide us to the straight path, the path of those who you have bestowed your blessings, those who have not incurred your wrath, and those who go not astray. Amen.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I will also start out by saying, first I want to say thank you to Shayna and Asatita KJ for sharing Asatita with us all these years. You allowed us to all be a family and part of your extended family. And that's something that I personally appreciate. I really do, sincerely from my heart. There's an African proverb that we all know: it takes a village to raise a child. The dojo, Asatita, was that village. In the village, you have spiritual leaders, you have educators, you have nutritionists, you have people who give advice, and you also have warriors protect the village. We had that all rolled up into one man. One 6'2". Yes, sir. I had to get that joke in because I always cracked on his height. One man, all that rolled up into one man. At this time, I would like everybody, just a little participation, to think of Asatita, think of a phrase, and think of one word or a phrase that he meant to you. Turn to the person to the left or the right and share that with them. Just turn to it. Go ahead. Think of him. And I will say, in closing, that when my time comes, when Allah takes me, I wish I would have such beautiful people to say something about me, as you just said something about Asatita. Thank you.
Push. I had to take my shades off because I wrote it in his eye. Because that's what Asatita always taught us. To always look the person directly in the eyes. My name is Wazir Ali. I started back in 1981 when he first opened up the dojo. We lived down the block from each other. And that dojo across the street from us was a shrine. Intense training, that's all he would have said. It was 5 of us that started. Shihan, Jamal Pearson, Tony Parker, her brother, and his younger sister Deborah, and myself. And we basically did everything. As white belts, he took us to tournaments at a very young age. We came home with 3 trophies every Sunday because we had to do everything: kata, weapons, fighting. And when I used to live down the block from him, my sister used to tell me, we used to train 7 days a week. We used to go to the park early in the morning on the weekends, run the park, and then come back in the dojo and train after that, at least 2 or 3 more hours. I see they always say class was 2 hours, but it was 4 hours. And then it was another 2 hours because he wouldn't let us go home. He would talk the rest of the day. And like, I see that we got families to go home to. Yeah, but you know, karate come first. It's a way of life. And I think that's how I lost my first girlfriend. But going back to, when he was living on the block for me, every Saturday and Sunday, my sister would always say, Ali, that little short guy is downstairs ringing the bell again. Because he was coming to get me because Wazir Jamal lived around the corner and me and him lived up the block. We actually did everything together. Me, Shihan, Jamal Pearson was the first 2 black belts that he ever promoted to black belt. We were the first 2. We came from white belt all the way to black belt together. And he installed in us, you wouldn't believe what he put in there. Like, even we was underbelts, and he fought in black belt, we got in the ring if somebody tried to attack him. And we was only white belts, and these guys were black belts. But that's what he put in us. Never be afraid of nothing. And last but not least, if you look at the store on the corner of this building, everybody respected that dojo. No one will come in front of that dojo and stand there. They know, oh, we gotta move on. That's how much respect everybody in the neighborhood gave us, because he brought everyone in the neighborhood into the dojo. But again, I want to thank Shana for having us today, and the rest of the family. God bless everyone. Thank you. Bush.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So next on the program is Councilman Joseph McCallum. I don't believe he's here, so we're going to move on to the next person. Oh, there he is. Oh, there we go. Come on. Everybody give him a round of applause.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Walter Bryant, and I'm here on behalf of the City Council to provide a resolution. But before I do that, there was a little bit of history that me and Kevin had. He was always Gary Taylor. He was always at West Side Boys Club, and we also had a family. And we were out there in the back playing basketball. And it's kind of a little physical back there. But one thing I know about Kevin, he's a very determined man. Anything he does, he sets his sights on. So we were playing one time, and I do believe he came around the pitch, took the ball, and he dunked it. He dunked it on me. I was in total shock. Yeah. I said, Kevin, you want to try that again? He said, no. You had your moment. I had my moment. But anyway, I grew up down the street, South 7th Street, between South Garden and 13th Avenue. And we always would meet at Boys Club. But people do remember Ross Collins.
Oh, yeah.
At this spot here on the corner, the Dominican restaurant, used to be Smith Drug Store.
That's right.
Down on South 7th Street this was Hoopers. That was Smith Drug Store right down there. But we also had a black restaurant called Gaston's, down on the corner of 6th and South Orange. We also had a black pharmacy, right here across the street from the Smith Drug Store.
Bring it back. Come on.
Then, on top of that, I remember this place, small as it was, but it was the only place that had display windows. And we had all these trophies and all these medals, but they weren't his. Those were his students, the ones who came. And we all had other places where they had metal gates. Once you bring down, once you close. He didn't have a gate. He just had a display window. And that place was a shrine. No one touched it. No one solicited in front of us. And there was nothing but sheer respect. I'm going to piggyback on the brother that was here before us. Anybody from next door or anywhere else in the surrounding area could not degrade or put tarnish by standing in front of his dojo. He thought ahead, and he thought ahead proudly. And he thought heavily of his students and the ones who earned their black belts. And today, I'm not going to be long. I just want to read a little bit, because Kevin was not a little bit. But in terms of his accomplishments, he was right on. He was right on. Whereas Kevin Thompson Brown, aka Little K.A., was born June 26, 1961 in Newark, New Jersey, and began the study of martial arts at the tender age of 5 years of age. Under the tutelage of famed martial artist Kareem Abdullah, who was also a friend of mine. With the KA system of the martial arts, he quickly achieved success. Whereas retiring from this sport in 1981, he continued to practice and study martial arts and opened the Kill School of Martial Arts Karate Organization in the city of Newark. The first of several dojos, which became known throughout the Newark Metro as the premier school of martial arts training, which he was. And he didn't brag about it. It was just about results. So, on behalf of the City Council, we'd like to present this resolution to you. This resolution being presented to her will always be in the archives of history. Nothing will change. Nothing will be altered.
So at this moment, I would like to introduce the board county clerk of Essex County, Deborah Davis Ford, on behalf of Commissioner President Richardson.
Hi, it's confusing, but to stay out of trouble, the county clerk is Chris Durkin. I'm clerk to the board of Essex County Commissioners. I'm here on behalf of the county president, Wayne Richardson, and the Essex County Board of Commissioners. But I'm going to take privilege before I make the presentation to share my personal relationship with this organization and the great leader, Kevin Thompson. See, he's family. He's family by marriage. His brother, Earl Brown Sr., married my sister, and the great MC, Earl Jr., is my nephew. He thinks he's the favorite one. We'll leave that as mysteries, so I can't get in trouble because I have more than one nephew. However, here's my personal story. Y'all know about delusion, right? Okay. Perhaps in retrospect, there are two things that I suffered from. Delusion. I was in my early 30s, probably significantly lighter, maybe 130 pounds. I played tennis, was in great shape, and I decided to join the dojo right here. And I was probably the oldest one in the class, and here is when I confirmed my delusion. When we had to go through all the calisthenics, the exercises, it was the sit-ups. I was always a half a beat behind the whole class, and that's when I realized that I was a little long in the tooth compared to the rest of the class, but I persevered. The other thing that I came to understand that maybe I was a bit of a masochist. For those, meaning that you accept pain or torture. And that is because going through, the practices and all the routines. And I never forgot when I was up for my first color promotion. And the auditorium was there, and one of the things he did was he went around you and punched you in the stomach, right? And I said, "Oh, sugar and rice." I didn't say that when he punched me in the stomach, right? Because I've never seen my legs lift so high from the ground when he punched me in the stomach. But I persevered. But it was a wonderful experience, and incredible organization, and an awesome leader. Not just because of the art of karate and in physicality, but spirituality, and also positive energy and mindset. With that said, let me get to why I'm here. I'm here to represent the president of the Essex County Board of Commissioners and the entire board. So I know you want me to read this whole thing, but I'm not going to indulge you with that. I'm just going to read the last whereas and the resolve. Whereas through it all, Kevin J. Brown Thompson continued to do it his way with a warrior spirit that burned as it did when he competed. Those who knew him were embraced within his love and caring, made comfortable by his sense of humor that both entertained and allowed family and friends to feel at ease. Therefore, be it resolved that the Essex County Board of Commissioners hereby honors the memory, community works, and spirit of dedication embodied by Kevin J. Brown Thompson, and joins his friends, family, and community in the dedication of the corner of South Orange and South 10th Street in his honor, and be it further resolved that this proclamation is sponsored by the County Board of Commissioners, President Wayne L. Richardson, and the entire county board. And I have one final honor. As clerk to the board, I get to sign this proclamation.
We have one last proclamation, a very special proclamation. This is from Congressman Payne Jr., who unfortunately could not be here today, but he wanted to make sure that all the way into the House of Representatives, this was acknowledged. In this proclamation, I'll read off word by word. Congress of the United States, House of Representatives, 117th Congress of First Session, in recognition of the street naming for Kevin Brown Thompson, whereas Congressman Donald M. Payne Jr. recognizes the dedication of the street naming in honor of Kevin Brown. And whereas on June 25th, 2021, we gathered to honor his memory at the corner of South 10th Street in Newark, New Jersey. This proclamation honors Kevin Thompson Brown, and whereas Kevin Brown Thompson deserves the honor of achieving martial arts greatness and being inducted into the Black Belt Hall of Fame with other notable legends. Warriors! His fiercest competitor was ALS, but through it all, he never gave up. His spirit and legacy live on through everyone's life he touched. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on behalf of the residents of the 10th Congressional District of New Jersey, the undersigned member of the United States Congress, the Honorable Donald M. Payne Jr., hereby recognizes honor bestowed on Kevin Brown Thompson, signed by Congressman Donald Payne Jr. Let's give it up, warriors! We have a very special speaker, someone who's been dear to not only martial arts, but also dear to Grandmaster Kevin Thompson, and also dear to this area. I would like to present Mayor of East Orange, Mayor Ted Green.
I know one thing, somebody getting push-ups for like that. That's the team to look behind like, they'd have got back to the dojo, he'd be like, give me 25. But listen, let me start off saying, Bismillah. To all of you that's here today, thank you very much. Sheena, thank you. K. Jr., thank you. And to my brother Kasim, who made sure that my presence is here today. To the entire Shakir Warrior family, who's here today, to all our family and friends who traveled far to come and celebrate today in this street naming. First of all, let me say on behalf of C&B Storage that we're very honored to be here. We're very honored to be a part of a memorable and well deserved street naming for a gentleman that, to be honest with you, if you say karate, you gotta think of Asatine. If you say tournaments, you gotta think of Asatine. When you say 10th Street, you gotta think of Asatine. When you say Mount Clair, New Jersey, you gotta think of Asatine. When you say world champions, you gotta think of who? Like I often said the other day, I was talking to my son, because I'm starting to see that the Olympics are accepting karate now. I said to myself, if they was doing that during the time this man was in tournaments, I guarantee he would have been Olympic. Guarantee he would have been Olympic. So many other martial artists that have came up in that area. I am blessed because this organization, not only that my father had so much respect for Asatine, he was his teacher at 13th Avenue School. He talked about this young man all the time. Sometimes I got a little jealous. But he had so much love for him because of his stature and what he meant. And I can tell you through this organization what makes me feel so proud, and I'm so proud of Kevin Jr., man. Give the lady of the house of no around.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
As I also represent grade school martial arts, and we are also very honored to see one of my black girls here, Eugene Brown. But let me just say this before I get off. It was such an honor, really, being a part of this family, and it still is. Because most of these men and women in this organization, it didn't matter how hard we fought, it didn't matter how hard we went to a tournament, many of them became my friends.
That's right. That's right.
Many of them became close friends too. And I'm so honored. You know, I was just talking to Al, and I said, you know, being with Ninja Rue, we used to always sneak past and see how they was training. That was me. And it's funny, Earl and I, and Lil Earl, they played football together, but you wouldn't think Earl and I sat at football games on Sundays. If we went to a tournament, Earl act like he ain't know me. I said, Earl, man, your son play football. Oh, no, man. Competition begins? I'm like, yeah, there you go. Well, listen, it's an honor, you know, and as I say that, I look at Al Moore, Dwayne, and we had Jamal, and I remember Papa Dew. All those guys, man, we had an opportunity to compete against each other. And one thing you learn about the Shaquille Warriors, I don't care what school you went to, everybody wanted to beat these dudes. Everybody wanted to fight the Shaquille Warriors, you know. And we had great schools, but everybody used to come, man, we had to fight the Shaquille Warriors. But listen, today is a great day in the city of Newark. I know that the Honorable Mayor Ras Rocker, if he was able to get here, we get here. But you know what? Although we naming 10th Street after a great man, a great father, a great grandfather. So listen, what we should do, and I'm going to talk to my good friend, Mayor Ras Rocker, and what we should be actually asking for here in the city of East Orange, because if he was in East Orange, I know I would have done it. We should be literally asking for a day, one day, during a year, that is Kevin Thompson Day here in the city of East Orange. Enjoy yourself today, but let all of us keep this gentleman, gentle giant, warrior always in our hearts and always in our spirits. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Thank you.
All right, I know it's hot, but I gotta finishing up right now. How you feel? How you feel? How you feel? I mean, this is my honor to introduce as we're wrapping up, but I had to personally say this from a family member, from someone who's been observing from the sidelines and in between the sidelines. My little cousin, Asatida Kevin Brown Jr. It's really been an honor to see him take over this dojo, this movement. Let's give a round of applause. So, and when I say it's an honor, it's funny because when he started to take over, I'm like, wow, I'm a little nervous for him, you know? But for him to come in with the strength, the courage, the energy, as fearful as that can be. Just imagine that your father is a world-renowned martial artist in dojo, and to be able to step into his shoes and not miss a beat is an amazing thing. And I have to say that I've learned so much from him. And I'd be like, I'm your older cousin, you look up to me, but actually this experience observing him has allowed me to reverse and look up to him. So I just had to say that, and it's been really an honor observing him. So I'll close it out and I'll end by introducing Asatida Kevin Brown Jr. Thank you.
Sorry about the technical difficulties, everybody. When was a little more than we expected. But, us! Thank you all for coming out. On behalf of my family, all of the Shakya Warriors, past, present, and future, we would like to thank all of you guys for your steadfastness and always, dedicating yourselves to not just my father, but the organization that he started. Right? He started a movement. This is more than just kicking and punching, so I tell everybody. This is about spirit, mind, and body for life. Right? What's the motto? Stay in weight, don't gain, stay in shape, don't gain too much weight, and what? And train to be the best. Right? And that's what we're doing every day, and that's what we hope that you guys are living your lives by, and that's what we are living our lives by. We thank you guys for all coming out with us. This is the first ever Founders Day. Can you guys give yourselves a round of applause? Every year on this date, June 25th and June 26th, that's my dad's birthday. So, what we're going to do moving forward every year, we will honor the past, present, and future warriors. And this year is no more fitting than that we do it on the first one, that we do it right here where we started. Keep it moving, always. Yes, sir. No, so again, without further ado, we thank all of you all for coming out. We hope that we'll see you all tonight, later at our Founders Day Gala, where we have everything going on. But before we move on, what I want to do is I want to thank some of the people that were able to come out from far, far and wide, through their busy schedules in order to help us with the street unveiling. Forgive me if I miss any names, but some of the people that we have in the crowd are Chris Radpold from JPN. And y'all just saw Mayor Ted Green. And the Commissioner of Boxing in New Jersey, Larry Hassett. And of course, we thank all of you all for being here. So without further ado, I think we're going to all make our way down to the corner and we are going to unveil the sign.
Three. 1, 2, 3.
Take a picture.